Hail, fellow. My respects to you. Your exploits are known here. Have you come to join us? I'm Lancelot, head of security here at Camelot. Stop by the tavern sometime. You can buy me a drink. Westminster's usually closed to us commoners. Parliament even more so. But you got those signatures and beat the gentry at their own game. All within their sodding laws. In a fair world, they'd let you in. Instead, they chucked you in the neck. Typical, innit? And you escaped. It's only natural fate led you here. This land is Albion. You stand before Camelot, the last stronghold against gentry tyranny. That's what I like to see. Usually I send recruits to Merlin, but you'd be wasted as a levy. Go find Arthur. He'll know what to do with you.
Speak your mind.
How can I help you? Until next time.
Hail, mates. London is the place for
What's
me.
your business? Greetings.
Stop this madness at once! Is there not a grain of sense between you?
If the old man wants to fight, let him.
By all means, fight. Such is the custom of Dueler's Ditch, but not to the death. Do not spill the blood of your compatriots.
Compatriots? Do compatriots break honest agreements out of spite? Do they lie and cheat? The Baileys are nothing but crooks.
My family followed that ridiculous agreement to the letter.
This matter was resolved. The Round Table decreed half the forest to be preserved. What happened?
Charred, burned to the ground.
And was this your family's doing, Thomas?
Of course not. The old man's deranged. What good is a charred forest to us? We're carpenters.
The Radstags have fled for the hills. The land is useless to us now. Your half-wit of a father thought we'd sell it to you.
Don't speak about my father. You have no idea.
One of you, John, call this off. No one will think any less of you.
They've gone too far this time, Arthur.
Thomas?
I need to defend my family's honor. I won't take these accusations sitting down.
Very well. Commence.
Huh?
Wait!
Will you not cheer the victor?
He was a young man, John. This feud has gone on too long. I shall send someone to investigate the matter. It will be resolved.
He agreed. Such is our way.
Some will judge me for what has happened here today. They'll claim that because I could have stopped it, I should have. What do you think? Yes, I had similar thoughts. Freedom of choice is important to many of my people. I have to refrain from exercising power whenever possible, even if I want to. I have only the authority my people have given me. They trust in the end, when Westminster falls, that democracy will take its place. Everything I do must be towards that goal. Any unnecessary use of power will break their trust. And trust is keeping this movement together, not strength. Anyway, don't get the wrong idea. Our tourney grounds across the field are oft used for friendly bouts. Speak to Galahad if you're interested. Is there something you wish to discuss? Direct them to Percival. He enjoys bombarding newcomers with the riveting tales of Camelot and our history, as if it was already enshrined in legend. Anything else? Good. You could be the missing piece. I'm relieved Lancelot sent you to me. Merlin would have you running the beat test. Our contact in Westminster told us of your story. You are no doubt someone who can perform beyond rank-and-file duties. I had some things I wanted to ask you if we ever crossed paths. Now isn't the time. There's a more pressing matter at hand. This feud between the Fletchers and the Baileys. It started as bickering, but now there's blood involved. I fear it will escalate further until one of them is driven from the land. This is not what anyone wants. To lose either family is to lose the food on our tables or the tables themselves. Hunters and woodcutters are the basis of any decent civilization. On top of that, if we're ever going to finish Merlin's trebuchet, we need supplies and aid from both families. So, I need a trustworthy outsider to investigate. In short, I need you. Consider it your initiation. Once upon a time, the two families were friendly. They're neighbors. The Baileys even helped the Fletchers build their treehouse. It's an impressive structure, I must say. The conflict stems from a piece of disputed land. The Baileys kept expanding their lumber yard into the Fletchers' hunting grounds. When the Fletchers appealed to the Round Table for judgment, none had a superior claim. So we split the land in half. They both felt robbed, but the matter was resolved. For a time. That was until the fire. A section of the land caught aflame during the night. It was mostly on the Fletcher's side, but the Baileys weren't unscathed. They both accuse each other of starting it. If either claim is truthful, then sanctions would have to be handed out. I need you to get to the truth of the matter, and I want some evidence. Well, to be entirely truthful, I think it's unnecessary. The Baileys easily could have expanded their yard in a different direction, or made do with what they had. Same for the Fletchers. That land may have been their most bountiful, but they have acres of Camelot territory to hunt in. I suspect pride is mixed up in this somewhere, on both sides. I have no reason to suspect either family. They both accuse each other of the same crime, and I don't wish to inflict bias on your judgment. I would trust any of my men to carry out the investigation impartially, but they wouldn't. The decision on their land dispute, for example. It was a 50-50 compromise, yet both perceive it as a loss induced by bias. With an outsider carrying out the investigation, they might accept the Round Table's decision. Us. Camelot. Pieces are falling into place, and the gentry are on their way out. They're not urgent. You can focus on the task at hand. Good. Start by questioning the leaders, Edward Fletcher and Harold Bailey. Get both sides of the story. Then investigate the scene of the fire. See what you can find. Lancelot ordered patrols to keep an eye on the area and warned everyone to stay clear, so nothing should be tampered with. Once you've brought evidence of the truth, I can bring you into the fold. For now, I'll let Lancelot know you can come and go to the castle as you please. Good luck.
Patience is key, for the quest continues.
Why didn't God give radstags 2 bodies instead of 2 heads? That's the bit we don't eat. For sure, go for it. I bet it was the Baileys. They most likely discovered fire for the first time in their lineage and got carried away. I'm Mary, Camelot's greatest huntress. I've perfected the art. My cousin Damien's pretty good, I don't doubt it. But I'm the best there is. Don't be a stranger.
It's summertime.
Have it your way. That was nuts.
Need something? I'm not sure. I'll be honest what my brother did was... Greg. John and the boy weren't part of this feud. Or at least they shouldn't have been. Being knights of Camelot, they live, or lived, at the castle. Seems they had a feud of their own after the fire. A microcosm of conflict. It's unfortunate it escalated. I almost lost my Mary last year. To illness. I can't imagine the pain Harold must be going through. Whatever he did, no one deserves that. I'm Edward Fletcher, hunter by trade. Me and my family packed up shop and came to Albion 7 years ago, from Brumley. Back there, we had to fend for ourselves. But here, we're protected. We can hunt in peace. It's a good living, and we're good at it. Me and my brother come from a long line of huntsmen. Our father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all stalked the wastes. And I hope my descendants will do the same. Mary, me oldest, continues the tradition. Sarah, my youngest, can't stand it. Says it's cruel. Each to their own, I guess. Wouldn't say we need help, but if you ever fancy picking up a spear, I'd pay you well for any game you bring us. It's about time. There's been too much confusion around this fire. It must be stamped out. Harold Bailey himself, I suspect. Or maybe his father. I doubt he would have gotten any of his boys to do it. Who else would do it? If you have any evidence to the contrary, then fair enough. I'll put a sock in it. But I don't know anyone else with a motive. While I'm certainly not shy about making their involvement in the fire known, I think they're good people at heart. They're just stubborn. They know that land is ours. We moved into the area and claimed it weeks before they even arrived. And they think just because they helped build this place that we owed them. They receive banquets of food in return. More than fair. This was the early days of Camelot, nearly 8 years ago. They could have starved without our generosity. I was preparing dinner for my family. I'll do terrific venison stew. Here, have a can. Very well. Later.
Can I help you? I'm Ryan Bailey. Not much to say, really. I don't get up to much. I work hard, and I keep my head down. He had an accident, that's all. A tree fell on me. Hazard of the trade. Yeah? Good. Not sure who done it myself. All I know is that my brother shouldn't have died over some poxy forest. Are you? You round table lot could have stopped it. But you didn't. You just stood and watched it happen. Bye.
Hello there. I didn't lose my son. He was taken from me. That whoreson John Fletcher murdered him. He can call it a duel all he wants. Fletcher knew my son wouldn't refuse. Thomas would have done anything to defend our family. Worst of all, Fletcher knew he'd win. He's a trained killer since birth. It was murder. Murder hiding behind the notion of honor. John Fletcher is a bitter old man to rob my son of the rest of his life. Someone with a good sword hand should give him what for. I should try myself. I want to tear his guts out with my bare hands. But all I can do is swing this axe. And my sons already lost their brother. I'm Harold Bailey. We were a family of merchants before we came to Albion. We wanted to settle down here, so we picked up a trade. At first, we were just woodcutters, but soon enough we started building our own furniture. And then other people's furniture. And then houses and everything in between. We finally feel like we belong somewhere. I hope the rest of London will see what's happening here and accept Camelot as the way forward. We have too many workers for the little land we have. But we'll buy any wood you can spare. Give you a good price for it, too. Good. The truth about this fire will prove our innocence. The Fletchers. I don't have any evidence, but I know it was them. That may not be good enough for the Round Table, but it's good enough for me. They're criminals. They were nice enough at first. We even helped build that treehouse of theirs, but they quickly revealed their true colors. That land is rightfully ours. It's on our side of the walkway. Stopping our field at some arbitrary line is ridiculous. They have the entire woods to hunt in. Do you know how much additional manpower it takes to haul wood long distance? I used to think they were just stubborn. Now I know it's something more malicious. After what they did to my son, I'll never forgive them. Listening to the radio. I always tune into Nigel's show in the evenings. I'd almost drifted off in my chair when the smoke got me up. I thought the whole forest was gonna burn down. We managed to stop the spread with the water from the pond. Of course he does. Look, I know this fire doesn't look good for us. It mostly being their land. But I promise you, it wasn't us. The Fletchers are conniving. They know if we ever did something like that, we'd face sanctions. Most likely, they'd get their half of the land back. No worries. See you around.
Can I help you? Bye.
Need something? Fire away. The Baileys are the type to deny reality when it suits them. Of course we didn't burn down our own land. We're simple folk. We don't like trouble. Very well. Later.
Greetings. I'm Frank Bailey, Harold's old man. My working days are behind me, so I mainly handle logistics. Keeps my noggin busy. I saw two people out there that night, shortly before the fire. Didn't get a good look at them, though. My eyes aren't what they once were. I saw two people out there that night, shortly before the fire. See ya.
Hello there. Go on. No worries. Go on. No worries. See you around.
Can I help you? Yeah? Good. Bye.
Need help? Hello, sir. Name's Timothy. Well, saw the fire with me own eyes, I did. Thought the old forest was a goner till it started chucking down. Could be I can help with your investigation. Always fancied a career in sleuthing. Harold and Susan. But I just call them Mum and Dad. I'm their youngest. Up to what? I just want to help with the investigation, that's all. Thanks. I try not to think about it. Me and me older brother Ryan looked up to Thomas. Well, since I don't fancy digging round in the mud for clues, I can do you one better. I saw a bloke light the fire that night. I didn't see his mug. I was watching from the lumberyard, but he was suited up like a Camelot knight. He ran off to the old shack over there. I didn't follow him or nothing. I'm not supposed to go out on my own. So, did I crack the case or what? Not really. It was dark until the fire properly got going. By then, he'd run off to the shack. You know, checking the trees. It's a family business. No worries. I'm always glad to lend a hand to those in need.
Can I help you? He had an accident, that's all. A tree fell on me. Hazard of the trade. Oh shit. It's not what it looks like. At least, it didn't happen the way you think. Please, just let me explain. It was an accident. Me and Timmy were sneaking off to the tavern that night. We wanted to surprise Thomas. One of those bleeding radstags came out of nowhere and rammed right into my leg. I didn't even notice I dropped the lantern. We ran off, and Timothy went to get me some bandages. By the time he came back, the fire started. No, I think my mum suspects, but she doesn't know. My dad wouldn't believe it even if he saw it. I don't know. I told him not to. We knew this fire would be bad for the family, me especially. I guess he wanted to protect me. Probably afraid of losing another brother. Please, tell Arthur the whole truth. Make him understand.
Hello there. Go on. No worries. See you around.
How goes the investigation? Go on. As I unfortunately suspected. The evidence? I'm getting the feeling. I was so sure this was about the land. I didn't think Harold and Edward could both be wrong. What exactly happened? Those poor boys. The guilt they must be feeling over their brother. Terrible. I'll have a talk with them. Consider the matter dealt with. I know Edward Fletcher. He's not one to demand sanctions over the mistakes of two boys. And Harold? Well, I'll talk with him too. I asked for the truth and you gave it to me. Now I must act on it. I shall be glad to settle this dispute amicably. Thank you. You've done well and proven yourself worthy of Camelot. From this day forth, this land is your land. You shall defend it as your own. I bestow upon you the rank of sergeant. May you serve it well. Now, I had questions if we ever cross paths. Questions about our new head of the civil service, Smythe. Guinevere, our agent in Westminster, has been looking into them for years, but they remain elusive. Who are they? I see. That's some alarming intel. How did you come by it? Rough. I imagine that trail led you to Westminster. But who let you in? Few have the privilege to come and go. Curious. I assume that meeting never happened, judging by your prompt incarceration. After you escaped, Tristan and Iseult met you at the tournament. It seems you were more than just an observer. They said you were looking for explosives, so I must assume you were behind the explosion. Why exactly? So you wanted to kill Smythe, but ended up causing the tragedy that gave them more power. I'd wager Mr. X was more fond of Smythe than he let on. But that's in the past. No point dwelling on it. I expect this Smythe character will take a role in things to come. We must be ready to face all the gentry can throw at us. They're with Smythe now. That gets me onto your next assignment. I want to strike a blow against the Tommies, but I don't want to take military action. At least not yet. Percival is looking into something that you can help with. Speak to him. Good luck, Sergeant. Hail, Sergeant. They've earned their position through valor, bravery, and merit. Each and every one. Our man of the ditch. I'd advise you to try him at his sport. I doubt you'll best him, but it'll sharpen you up. Merlin's been at my side for many years. Were it not for him, Camelot wouldn't exist. Percival is Camelot's eyes, ears, and mouthpiece. Without him, we are irrelevant. Bedivere is our strategist, a master logistician, invaluable. Our chief medical officer. She's indispensable, so don't bother her unless you're in need of medical attention. Dab hand with a blade, a soldier loyal. You'd do well to follow his lead. Technically, yes, though in reality it was a merging of many like-minded groups. It was a necessary reaction to the gentry. I'll tell you what I know. Fascists. Plain and simple. We share a common enemy, but they are not our friends. They're a disease that must be rooted out. Once upon a time, they were a serious force in London. And whilst that's not the case anymore, that doesn't mean they're not dangerous. A cornered animal will fight more desperately than one that is hunting. When the gentry don't want to get their hands dirty, that's when they send in the dogs. Frankly, nasty bastards. Avoid them if you can. You've seen them by now, surely. The snooty bastards that own anything worth anything in this city. The sooner they're removed, the sooner London can thrive. I was born in a village very far from here. Childbirth took my mother's life, and the scarcity that comes with isolation took my father's. I was 7 years old. The locals took care of me as best they could, but resources were tight. When a passing caravan came through the town, I snuck into one of the wagons. I still remember the look on the caravaner's face when he found me. Scared the shit out of him. He scared me, too. I'd never seen a ghoul before. His name was William Knight. He took pity on me. He turned my fear into love and my despair into hope. He showed me how to fight, the safe roads to take, the books to read, the people to trust, and warned me about those you couldn't. He had a saying from one of his books that always stuck with me. The ultimate hidden truth of the world is that it is something that we make, and could just as easily make differently. A great man. Without him, I wouldn't be alive, let alone where I am today. He goes by a different name these days. I suppose it is. But even in this smouldering wreckage of this place we call London, there is a sense that this was once a place of great importance. The golden age of humanity was built on the ideals supposedly held by the knights of old. Surely it's more silly to emulate those who destroyed civilization rather than those who built it. Farewell.
You down to trade? Farewell.
Speak your mind.
London is the place for me.
Hail, Sergeant. That's a broad question. I'm not one to reminisce. Not a good habit for people in my line of work. I was in the forces, commando unit. Had a few tours under my belt. Saw a lot. Learned a little. Not a period of my life I hold in high regard. Later, I became a government advisor on specific tactical implementation. Use of military assets. That sort of thing. A period of my life I hold in contempt. I can't help but feel responsible, in some small part, for the Great War. Look around you. I don't think we did very well on the remit of protecting the people of the United Kingdom. The ultimate hidden truth of the world is that it is something that we make, and could just as easily make differently. No, I'm from a small coastal town in the west. Truth be told, there was a time where I'd do anything to avoid being in London. Who do you want to know about? Highly organized, highly motivated, well-trained, and ideologically committed. The one advantage we have over them is their lack of organic support. I wouldn't be confident in that remaining the case, especially if their propaganda techniques gain traction. A threat of yesterday had their hair cut by another outfit of criminals. Think of them like an old landmine. Something that should be disarmed, but easily avoided. London's preeminent criminal gang. About as dangerous as they come, but ultimately susceptible to the issues that plague such organizations. Greed, self-interest, dishonesty. The tactics to defeat criminals are tried and tested. The gentry are the complacent mass that we'll have to shift in order to meaningfully achieve anything in London. Farewell. Ever vigilant.
Ah, there you are. Arthur told me of your arrival. I'd stand up to greet you, but I'm too busy with my work, as you can see. I am Percival, head of communications for Camelot. This is my personal office. Quite beautiful, no? What you see here is the result of hard work, perseverance, and my genius idea of stealing the BBM storage key after I quit my job. Now, whatever happens, we have got their bloody equipment, and they have not. Words of encouragement, valiant speeches straight from Arthur's mouth, and near constant reminders of what the gentry has taken from us. Or, as the layman calls it, propaganda. Help, yes. Any assistance is much appreciated. You see, one of my duties is to keep in contact with all of the fractured factions in this great nation of ours. Partly to offer assistance, and partly to stop them from getting any bright ideas about assisting the other side. I've been in conversation with a strange tribe based in Brickton, and they are not happy with how these devious Tommies have been treating them. I, for one, can't stand to see oppression, especially when the oppressed have agreed to oust the Tommies in favor of Camelot protection. We stand to gain much more than mere tickets from this exchange. If we can show the people that Camelot stands for democracy and freedom, then it's only a matter of time before others follow in this tribe's footsteps. And if we can do it while kicking the Tommies in their righteous fannies, well, that's a win-win, isn't it? My heart bleeds for all those who live under tyranny. Especially those who can develop into key strategic alliances. They don't like anything made after 1922, for one. They believe the Great War was a sign from the spirits that we should all return to living in huts. I believe any man, woman, or child should be free to live life as they desire, even if that means wiping their asses with sticks and stones. As expected of the gentry's foot soldiers, the Tommies see the tribe's quirky and strange beliefs as signs of savagery. Take their town's name, for example. Instead of referring to it as Brickton, the way the tribes have taken to calling it, the Tommies insist on referring to it as Brixton. They believe the Tommies are there to civilize them. I believe this is our chance to show the Tommies what civilization truly means. I can see now why you caught Arthur's keen eye. I want you to go to Brickton and find Roach, the tribe's leader. He is a strange man, but you must treat him with utmost respect. He has a plan on how to push the Tommies away, help him return to me, and then perhaps you'll find yourself within Camelot's highest ranks. What you see here is the result of hard work, perseverance, and my genius. Now, words of encouragement, valiant speeches straight from Arthur's mouth, or good luck, servant of Camelot.
I humbly welcome you back to the land of Brickton. I had a feeling our fates would align once again. Mother Earth told me so. But I do wish our paths crossed once more under a kinder moon, for this one is littered with cunning and secrecy. Now, me and my fellow tribesmen have come up with 3 simple tasks that'll agitate the Tommies and push them out of our land without the need for violence. First, you shall poison their ration supplies with these laxatives. Then, you shall destroy the generator that's powering their turrets. And finally, you'll spread rumours about the man leading this battalion, the dreadful Lieutenant Doyle. Fulfill these 3 tasks, and soon Camelot will have an ally in Brickton. Has the great work begun? Take all the time you need. Remember, even the canyon takes its time. We are not invested in Arthur's dream of a united London, writhing under his benevolent thumb. We simply wish to be left alone. And unfortunately, the only one willing to grant us that wish was Arthur. Fear makes companions of us all. Why are you wearing clothes? 'Cause someone told you to? 'Cause someone forced you to? I am merely following my instincts, the one thing the canyon gave me in her infinite wisdom. Like you, I come from the canyon, and I shall return to it once my days are over. But I know that's not what you want to know. The truth is, I don't remember who I was before I became Roach. I wanted a clean start, so I erased my memory through a mix of hallucinogenics and minor head wounds. And I'd do it again, if I remembered the recipe. The Tommies think they're here to civilize us, simply because we don't follow their beliefs and codes. But tell me, what worth is there in an ideology that has destroyed the world 10 times over and left it to rot? I'd take dying from preventable diseases 1,000 times over destroying the world with my ignorance. Watch your step.
I see strange storm clouds in your horizon. Be careful.
We won't go quietly. You can count on that.
Private Kerr, sir! Oh, sorry. Thought you were Lieutenant Doyle for a moment. How can I help you? We're here to protect the people of Brixton from internal and external threats, whatever those may be. Scared? Me? No, not at all. I have absolutely nothing to say about Lieutenant Doyle. I mean, yes, I don't quite enjoy his methods, and the way he constantly doles out surprise inspections whenever he feels like it. But it is not my place to comment on these things. Really? What is it? What? That can't be true. He promised to stay with us until the Brixton mission was done. Then again, he's always spoken poorly about our performance. And his disdain for Brixton is hard to miss. Thank you for sharing, but I need to tell my mates about this.
Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves. Britons never, never, never shall be slaves.
Looking for something to give you a little boost? Yeah. I'm working on... Looking for something...
The earth trembles at your mighty footsteps. Has the great work begun? I've seen the fruits of your labour. Tommy's whispering rumours in between hurried trips to the loo and feeble attempts to fix their machines. For our next step, we're going after Major Sneed, a man who craves the city's crippling comforts, which is my way of saying that whenever he's here, he's always on the edge of giving up. Soon he'll be arriving in Brickton for his annual checkup, an affair he dreads with every passing winter. Through your handiwork, we're going to give him the little push he needs. First, you will spread anti-Sneed graffiti around his beloved outpost. Then, you will set fire to a pile of precious cow manure and create a foul smell over Brickton. And, finally, you will spread rumours about our dear Major. Farewell. Good luck. Tread lightly.
Oh, how I wish we could stay like...
Mind the gap and all that. Yep. Don't mind me. A little too close for comfort, mate.
I wish I could meet the Queen.
You're back! I told all of my mates at the barracks about you. We knew there was something strange about Doyle. Scared? Absolutely not. My feelings about Sneed are all positive. I don't like his attitude, though. Every time he comes to survey us, he complains about the sorry state of Brixton. That's not our fault. Brixton. Well, go on then. Tell me. I'll leave. Who does he think he is? We need that time. They promised us they wouldn't cut our leave. Thank you for telling me the truth. Now it's my turn to go and share it.
The earth trembles at your mighty footsteps. How goes your labours? Yes, the fruits of your labour fill the air. Be it the sweet scent of manure, or even the sweeter sound of Sneedly insults. Laura, what's wrong?
It's Sneed. He's arrived at the gate and
I
he's
see
most
strange
unhappy.
storm clouds in your
Is that so?
horizon.
Wayfarer,
Be careful.
go with Laura. See what you can learn and what we can use.
There's nothing like the sound of nature during a lazy afternoon.
Oh, how I wish we would stay like this forever.
A disappointment. That's what you all are. A total,
We won't go quietly.
humongous,
You can count
brutal
on that.
disappointment to Queen and country.
Yes, sir. My apologies, sir.
I assigned you here to civilize these savages and to teach them the ways of our society. And what do I find? One of you geniuses mixed in laxatives with your rations, and now the toilets are filled to the brim with dung.
Mind the gap and all that.
Your generators have been sabotaged under your very eyes, and now the entire outpost is without electricity. I've heard disrespectful soldiers whispering nasty words about your great Lieutenant Doyle. Some ruffian has plastered uncivil words about me upon the outpost's walls.
God save our
Soldiers have been asking me about
queen.
baseless
Long
rumors, the
live
origin of which
our
puzzles
noble
and annoys me. The entire outpost smells like cow shite, no matter where you bloody are. And if that wasn't enough, now my precious wagon, filled with all of my necessities, is stuck on the path to this godforsaken place. That is why all of you are
You'd
now on
have to be
cleanup duty,
insane
and
to
if I
take on the
hear
Tommies.
one word about it, I swear I'll send this entire outpost to the pits. Dismissed.
Sir. Yes, sir. You heard your superior officer. Move it, move it, move it!
Where did you come from?
Who the devil are you? And why are you not marching up and down this outpost like I told you all to do? Whipping this den of savagery and depravity into a proper British outpost. I'd ask you what you are doing here, but clearly the answer is annoying me. How about I try using my boot up your disrespectful ass, soldier? I'll demote you faster than you can think. Then what are you doing here? Vacate the premises at once! I come from a long line of soldiers, nearly 400 years' worth, dating back to the Sneeds from Lanark and the Westbridges in Devon. But more than that, I didn't spend any of my damn time asking my superior officers all these inane questions.
Rule Britannia! Britannia, rule the waves!
You should tell Roach about this. I'll keep watch.
Be slaves!
I've seen this wagon before. Sneed's mythical wagon is filled to the brim with trinkets and gadgetry and the sort of oddities this is a golden opportunity indeed need to survive. Now if Sneed were to find out that all of his extravagances were stolen, he might shut down the outpost for good. Wayfarer, how would you like to play Robin Hood? Because I need you to perform a little highway robbery. Take this letter and this hat. It identifies you as the Brickton Shadow, a notorious yet fictional highwayman. certain to strike fear into Sneed's heart. I'll leave the rest up to you. Only the Canyon's fiercest sentry, defender of her blessed land, a modern-day legend devised by yours truly. Go forth, Shadow.
Oh, how I wish we could stay like this forever.
Now, look alive, Goose. We can't have anyone rifling through the Major's belongings. Halt!
State
This
your
area
business
is
or
off limits,
prepare to
civilian.
taste the cold steel of justice. Goose! Person with the quippy remarks there. 5 rounds, rapid. You've made the biggest mistake of your life.
Who the devil are you? And why are you not marching up and down this outpost like I told you all to do? Brixton what? Give me that. My God, I knew it. These people are barbarians. Well, if they'd rather live in the filth and grime, so be it. I won't waste my time civilizing them no more. Lieutenant Doyle, come here at once.
Yes, sir.
We won't go quietly. You can count on that.
I've had enough of this place. By the power invested in me, I am officially ordering the full and total abandonment of the godforsaken town of Brixton.
Thank God, sir. I'll be happy to never see this place ever again in my life.
You and me, Doyle. You and me. May these people rot in the rat-infested hell of their own creation. We'll leave that fellow Woodward here. He's basically native at this point anyway. Now, let's get the hell out of here.
Sir. Yes, sir.
I can think of no better reward for your work than my lucky finally over. Fashioned out a boat harvested from the Canyoners, and it's all thanks to your best efforts. Not only as a charm, but a symbol, a representation of our enduring love for you, Wayfarer. Now go, and may the Canyon watch you on your future endeavours. I humbly welcome you back to the land of Brickton. May the Canyon guide you.
I hope Camelot soldiers are more respectful than the Tommies.
Hail, Sergeant. If it isn't the Brickton Shadow. That's what the folks back in Brickton are calling you. I heard the news over an encrypted radio frequency. Here, good pay for good work. Just don't let it get to your head, and we have much work ahead of us. Hurry on back to Merlin, and tell him to send the troops so they can occupy Brickton. Hail, Sergeant. As a matter of fact, yes it is. You seem to be enterprising fellow. Someone who can crack open some heads at a moment's notice. That is a correct assessment, is it not? Ah, initiative. A rare trait amongst the rank and file. One of my duties as Camelot's leader of communications is to handle outreach. namely posters and banners promoting our cause. Most people are smart enough to just leave our posters be, but not the fifth column. They keep covering up the posters we put up near their territory. Worst of all, they're covering them with children's drawings. Fake drawings, yes, but fake children's drawings. Try explaining that to irate onlookers. Because it's always the same drawings in the same places, down to each brushstroke. It's clearly the work of a machine. You might write these off as the rantings of a madman, but I know for a fact that the fifth column's head of propaganda is a protectron. Plain and simple. I want you to head on down to the fifth column territory and put up this large banner. I designed it to be impossible to cover and extremely annoying. It stands to reason the fifth column will attempt to take it down, and once they do, you'll be there, ready to fend them and their troops off. You don't have to stand guard for the rest of time, just enough to send a message. Teach the column we're not to be trifled with, and I'll give you a customized stun baton, perfect for keeping their robotic head of propaganda away. You mean apart from the fact that every piece of propaganda they produce is nothing more than the regurgitated droppings from tyrants of the past? I have my sources. I will be keeping an eye on you through the radio. Good luck.
You have
Oi!
eyes. Use
Watch
them.
it.
Patience is key. For the quest.
Be more careful.
Look where you're going.
Only one casualty. Excellent. Ah, poor phrasing. Tragic. Who was it?
Sergeant Brown, sir. Landmine.
A good man. An enthusiastic soldier. Was the outpost damaged in the attack?
Superficially, sir.
What's the combat readiness of the position?
Well, it's not an easy question to answer.
Well, it's all relative, isn't it, my young scout? My questions are easier than the bullets and blades that follow them. Hey?
Gawain thinks there's quite a lot of work to be done.
Knight Gawain. Respect the rank, Scout. So you're telling me the outpost has been stripped? Was hoping it'd be equipped. We're stretched thin.
Sergeant Pilly disagrees, of course.
Sergeant Pilly? Who on earth is that? Scout, we are fighting for our lives here. I need an objective analysis of the battlefield. Stop covering your ass in some vain attempt to make me happy. Have a clear and succinct report on my desk in the hour. Dismissed.
Yes, sir.
So, you're the one I have to thank for Brickton, hmm? Fine work you did. You must tell me about this shadow business one of these days. But for now, there are more pressing concerns. Your rank. Sergeant is no befitting title for one who takes out an outpost single-handedly. From this day forth, shall hold the rank of knight. May you honor it well in these coming endeavors. Knight, I require your services. I have a job that apparently requires the skill of 2 knights. Can you help? Know what? I don't have time to make requests. This is going to have to be an order. Arthur takes the leadership quite naturally. Fortunately, my soft skills are somewhat lacking, so you'll excuse me for getting straight to the point. Camelot recently secured an old Tommy outpost in the north. Tommy's abandoned it months ago, left it to the hooligans. Regardless, we managed to drive the rabble out with minimal casualties. Quite the victory, according to some, but all I've heard is boasts. I need that outpost secure, capable of withstanding heavy assault. Meet up with Gawain. Assess the situation. And while you're there, kick her up the arse. Fact I'm sending more than 2 soldiers, never mind 2 knights, is unacceptable. Fix it. Understood? Fine, but brevity would be appreciated. It protects the wall that surrounds Wandsworth. If you were to look at it on a map, you'll see a natural thoroughfare for potential attacks, which makes this outpost an invaluable defensive position for Camelot. Knight, that's exactly what I'd like you to find out. Demonstrably not. All clear? Good. Dismissed. Hail, Knight. Farewell.
Hail, mate.
Alarm! We've been breached! Who the heck?
Ugh! 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 Ugh!
You on a lucky blow, dressed with a nice sign and all. Come on, mate. It's time to be a hero.
I want my mommy.
Their radios are buzzing with activity. Oh, I wish I could have seen their faces. All these tears over a measly banner. What a palaver. Couldn't have done it without you. And now, I know for a fact there were no bloody children involved after all. It was all them. Of course, I already knew that. But now everyone knows. And the satisfaction of being proven right is worth any hassle. Here, a stun baton I customized myself. If any robotic rabble-rousers try to get revenge on you, this ought to send them packing. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to listen to some more of their complaining. How delightful. Hail, Knight. I will tell you what I know. Camelot was founded by Arthur with the help of Merlin. Prior to founding Camelot, they travelled across Britain as a trade caravan. It is my understanding that it was during this period that the seed of Camelot was sown. When they settled in London, it eventually grew to what you see now. Camelot was founded in Eastminster, in 2227 with the aim of reforming Parliament. From the outset, we modelled ourselves around Arthurian legend and iconography. This set us apart from other democratic groups, of which there were many at the time. We came out on top as London's main democratic force. We remained in Eastminster for 3 years, until the Tommies expelled us from the borough. Camelot agitators sparked riots in Eastminster. This was the final straw for the gentry. They responded with force, driving us out of Eastminster and across the Thames. To survive, we had no choice but to become yet another of London's military powers. We set up shop in Wandsworth, where we began constructing our army. We have few friends in Eastminster nowadays. Our attempts to organize cause strict reprisals on the borough. With our army, we were able to protect the nearby area and set up patrol roads. Settlers took advantage of this and began to migrate to Albion. Camelot collects duties from these settlements in return for this protection, but no more than we need. Any citizen of Albion can request an audience with the Round Table, and we will adjudicate fairly. While Arthur is the leader of Camelot, he is technically first among equals. Major decisions are made collectively by the Knights of the Round Table, of which there are 9. This state of affairs, of course, is only a means to an end. We haven't given up the dream of a truly democratic London. We continue to prepare for an assault on Westminster. Every man starts a levy. Through experience and exploits, they rise the ranks to footman, infantry, sergeant, and eventually, knight. A few of those knights will go on to join the Round Table. It was a ballet school, funnily enough. We constructed the walls out of scrap we found in the nearby region. Certainly. A den of vipers, thick as pig shit, but twice as vicious. You do well to watch yourself in their presence, though a bullet would remove all risk. There's a saying, yesterday's headlines are today's fish and chip papers. The vagabonds, to my estimation, are today's fish and chip papers. Not to say they're insignificant, of course, but they're not the force they once were. A vicious criminal outfit of loan sharks and drug peddlers. I'd advise avoiding them if you can. If you can't, make sure you're armed and dangerous. The finest London has to offer, the cream that has risen to the top, is the froth that suffocates London. My route to Camelot is a somewhat meandering one. I learned my craft working for the BBM in Westminster, where I was a glorified errand runner. People assume that given the prominence of the institution, they'd have their affairs in order. Nothing could be further from the truth. I was behind the scenes, running around like a blue-assed fly. On top of my other duties, I was given the job of proofreading the politics section for the newspaper. In reality, my job was to make sure that the text was sufficiently critical of the dissenting group of the week. Eventually, the word Camelot started appearing in my to-do pile. The more I read about them, the more I admired their spirit. Making them look bad was the hardest job of work I've ever done. So, after a period of living in denial, I did what I thought was right. I packed my bags and left for Eastminster. Farewell, fellow.
You are afraid of democracy. Then you are afraid of democracy. If you are afraid of democracy, then you are afraid of democracy. If you are afraid of democracy, then you are afraid of democracy. If you are afraid of democracy, then you are afraid of democracy. If you are afraid of democracy, then you are afraid of democracy. If you are afraid of democracy, then you are afraid of democracy. If you are afraid of democracy, then you are afraid of democracy. If you are afraid of democracy, then you are afraid of democracy. If you are afraid of democracy, then you are afraid of democracy. If you are afraid of democracy, then you are afraid of democracy. If you are afraid of democracy, then you are afraid of democracy. If you are afraid of democracy, then you are afraid of democracy. If you are afraid of democracy, then you are afraid of democracy. If you are afraid of democracy, then you are afraid of democracy. If you are afraid of democracy, then you are afraid of democracy. If you are af
Camelot. Camelot prevails.
Good to see a fellow knight. Finally, someone without a pissy attitude around here. I'm going to need help restoring this outpost and enforcing some discipline on this squad. Here's my original report that Sergeant Pilly refused to endorse. Give it a read. I've outlined what needs to be done.
Knight.
Knight?
Just waiting around.
What Richards means to say is that we're awaiting orders.
That's what I said. Despite our rather calamitous start, we were actually successful. We managed to surprise the enemy, drove them into chaos, and took the objective with no other casualties.
A complete shit show. Luckily, the daft, gormless bastards had no idea what was happening. So I guess it worked out, which is quite lucky, isn't it?
Two hard workers amongst a shower of lazy, grumpy bastards.
Well, we're ready for orders. I've heard other members of the squad may have grievances, but it's not my place to say.
It's all right, I suppose. Could be worse. Pretty sure we jotted these down somewhere.
Yes, I submitted our suggestions that Knight Gawain was so kind as to record.
We won't move an inch.
Knight?
Knight. We won't move an inch.
How can I help, Knight? Our first engagement was a resounding success, besides the tragic death of Sergeant Brown, of course. After the operation, I was sent to scout the enemy position, primarily to see how many were left and their battle readiness. Sometimes it can be confusing to have two commanding officers. Luckily, one of them never wants us to do anything, so it's pretty much the same as having one. I agree with the assessment of my commanding officers. As is much of life, sometimes you just have to embrace the chaos. Cheers, boss.
Patience is key, for the quest continues.
Another one? Bloody hell. At this rate, there'll be more knights than swords. Sergeant Pilly, reporting for duty. Ah, you're one of those. Just what we need, eh, lads? Another honourable job's worth. If you're gonna bother me with the same bullshit, I'll save you the bother. Look around you. We've got the outpost. The job's done. What else can I do for you? Fuck's sake. Yes, it is. You knights should relax. You'll live longer. We lost our commander immediately. Few of the others wanted to turn back. I couldn't let that happen. So we marched in, cracked a few skulls, did the job. There's a few of them left in the factory who need mopping up. But they ain't much. Trust me. They're the ones who ran. He had to retire for medical reasons. Fine, he exploded. Stood on a landmine, cut him in half. Not exactly healthy for the mine to dwell on. Whole squad shot themselves. Thought our cover was blown. Turns out the hooligans were too cunted to notice. He was shoulder to shoulder with us when it counted. He'll be fine. Some people just take a little longer to adjust. Bye.
Yes? They're relatively inexperienced and their commander died in the assault. Most of the squad are fine. It's just Sergeant Pilly and Levy Daniels. He was mortally wounded by an explosion. I initially suspected it was a landmine. However, having since seen Pilly throw a grenade, misfortune seems more plausible. He's got the idea in his head that this squad is his. So he's trying to force a promotion by acting like a raging bellend. By all accounts, Pilly demonstrated courage during the assault, but he won't even commit to doing the training required for command. He is in dire need of explosives training, but he doesn't think he needs it. He does, regardless of if he is to be promoted or not. It's hard to be specific. While he didn't sustain any physical injuries, Levy Daniels is incapable of carrying out, well, anything, let alone the duties of a soldier. He needs to be relieved. I assumed when you introduced yourself you were his replacement. Since you're not, he needs escorting back to Camelot. Have they decided to fall in line? What did they say? Oh, I thought as much. Thanks for trying. Good. Your thoughts? I'll scout the enemy position, get a clearer idea as to the readiness and numbers. We'll clear their position when you feel we're adequately prepared to repel a counterattack.
London is the place for me.
Bon appétit! You look good enough to eat. Glorious! I know I am
Hey. I'm Sarah. The rest of my family are hunters, but I know better. The animals feel pain just as we do. They act like I'm some kind of revolutionary. Later.
It's about time they made you a knight. Well earned. How can I help you today? Of course. An army marches on its stomach, after all. I'll have the provisions sent to the front within the hour.
You've returned as a knight, no less. You'll be wanting to dip into my pocket for more of my timber, no doubt. Look, I realize there's a lot at stake. But Camelot doesn't feed my kids. Doesn't put clothes on my back. I'll send someone up with the timber. Take what you need for now, but my generosity has a limit. I still can't quite believe it was my boys. But I guess I should thank you for making Arthur understand.
Huh? Hmm? Oh, bye. How do you do it? How is it so easy for you? I close my eyes and I see their faces. They had no idea what was happening. I suppose that was a point of sneaking up on them. Turns out they were scrapping all night, taking bets and beating the shit out of each other. Stupid bastards must not have realised they were under attack. Nobody fought back at all. I'm not sure they even knew what was happening until half of them were gone. But I can't get that look out of my head. He was smiling. A big, idiotic grin. Turns out they must have been on something. Fighting for fun. He didn't stop smiling. Even when the blade cracked open his skull, he still smiled. It's just the life behind his eyes, I don't know. Went somewhere, but the smile remained. He was covered in someone else's blood. That's what's so... I know this man killed. He enjoyed killing, so why? I can't forget his stupid fucking smile. Yes, I suppose you're right. I think I'm going to go back to Camelot now, on my own.
I've scouted the enemy position, and I think it'd be good to engage as soon as possible. If you think we're ready, we can set things in motion. Let me know when you're ready.
Patience is key.
What can I do for you, Knight?
For the quest continues.
Hysterical bollocks. We don't have the manpower or the resources. By all means, feel free. It's not that I'm not keen. I've already done it. The good Knight Fancy Bollocks considers herself beneath giving feedback. Explosives training requires we build 5 working landmines from scratch. Here are my mines. She said all but one were completely wrong, and buggered off in a huff. How is that supposed to help? If I knew which one was wrong, I'd be able to learn from my mistake and repeat the correct process 4 more times. So, if you can figure out which of my mines are up to shape, I can finish the training without the risk of blowing myself up. Deal? What can I do for you, knight? So, which one is it? I don't think we do. She's in command, I accept that. I won't accept bogering about with a bunch of busy work because she needs to feel visible. We fought hard to take this outpost. Outnumbered, outgunned, and on our own. Isn't that enough? Arthur will have us fighting again sooner than later. Why not rest while we can? Given enough time in her company, it's impossible not to. Bye. What can I do for you, knight? Bye. What can I do for you, knight? Bye. What can I do for you, knight? So, which one is it? Cheers. I'll crack it open and figure out what I did wrong. See, I knew it was that one. She couldn't have just confirmed it for me. Something about becoming a knight changes you. What can I do for you, knight? Bye. What can I do for you, knight? Bye.
How can I help, knight? And I know exactly where to find one. I was patrolling nearby when I came across it. Looked in good nick too. I started to remove the piece, but I felt something looming. Decided not to stick around. Are you sure? Your funeral, I guess. Here are the coordinates.
Patience is key, for the quest continues. Last I heard, you were sent to get our new frontier outpost up to scratch. Anything I can help you with? Not asking for much, then. Well, the good news is I can send up the sandbags. The bad news is everything else ain't happening. Word to the wise, nobody in London has anything that explodes or shoots going spare unless they're aiming it at you. Can't help you there. Charity is a luxury reserved for better times, I'm afraid. The Fletchers and the Baileys might be able to help you. Best of luck.
I've scouted the enemy position, and I think it'd be good to engage as soon as possible. If you think we're ready, we can set things in motion. Those recommendations were extensive, yet you actually went out there and got them done single-handedly. Great work. Gather the squad, tell the men to get in position.
What can I do for you, Knight? She's finally ready, is she? About bloody time.
How can I help, Knight? Jeez, glad to have dodged a bullet there. Nice job for taking it out. I'll be there.
Knight?
Knight. Aye, sir.
Ever vigilant.
I think we're all here. Okay, if I can have your attention, everyone. So, we've got a considerable number of hooligans held up in this industrial complex. The way I see it, we've got two approaches. We can try to do this quietly, or brute force. Wait until dark, send a couple of men to lay some traps. Wait for some to exit, silently take them out. We'll thin the numbers out a little, and then strike them hard and fast.
What's the point? They probably already know we're here. It's only our mighty knights that they've yet to encounter.
Yes, hit them as hard as we can with heavy guns and explosives. Hopefully they'll panic and scatter so we can mop up the remnants.
Well, we're obviously doing that.
I think that's probably best. I can't imagine too many of them will be going on midnight walks. Given the good light, I'd suggest we make a move as soon as possible. Get into position and wait for my signal. Once you see the sign, we'll need to throw everything at them. All clear? Good luck, and watch your backs. Dismissed.
Who?
Huh? Weird shit.
That it? Have it.
Not even Arthur could pull a sword out of that thick head of yours. Camelot prevails. Be more careful. Some more.
What the hell was that?
This is gonna be fun.
Let's just pretend this didn't happen.
Is he fucking crazy?
Your Camelot prevails. Oi, watch it! You have...
Look where you're going.
Greetings.
That should be the last of them. Stand down! Thank you for all your help, Knight. We can take it from here. Squad dismissed!
Hail, mate. What's your business?
Hail, knight. Farewell.
Knight, do you have any news for me? Fantastic news. With that outpost secured, I feel a lot more secure. Thanks to your efforts, the fortress to the north will be a significant deterrent.
This is that buffer zone you suggested.
That it is.
Good work. With this outpost secured, we can finally move on to the front foot. Knights, listen closely.
Patience is key.
Arthur, Merlin, request Charing Cross station.
Breathe, Percival.
Speak plainly, or at least with a verb.
Eastminster reports there's been an explosion at Charing Cross station.
This could be a blessing. We can put their weariness to rest by helping out.
With Percival's anxiousness, there's more to the story, I'd wager.
Merlin is right. Eastminster's already fingered a culprit. Us.
Us? I didn't authorize a strike on Charing Cross.
They're saying they've already pinned down the two knights responsible.
I hate to ask more of you so soon, but I don't have anyone else I can spare. Will you look into it? Unfortunately, I do. But I won't sow dissent without evidence. That's a longer story than we've got time for today. Good to hear. Head out immediately.
Curious about Eastminster. It won't take but a second to understand the gist, and that might help you when your boots hit the ground there. Eastminster birthed Camelot just as much as we did. Our hearts and minds were one back then. But skip to ceaseless riots, and some brutal retaliation by the gentry, and quite a few blame us for their current state. Don't be surprised by a thin veneer covering hostility. Many there tolerate us at best. Hail, knight. Farewell.
Patience is key. For the quest to continue.
Be more careful, there's a war on.
Hail, knight. Farewell.
I suppose you want to know more about Arthur's suspicions. I don't know. I hope not. But if this cause is compromised, you need to know what you're walking into. I won't name names. Arthur's right. Without proper intel, guessing can only do us harm. There are some among us that wish he took a firmer hand in certain matters. If their zealotry has escalated to unsanctioned bombing, There's no telling what else they're ready to do. Proceed with caution, even among friends.
London is
Hail,
the place
knight.
for me.
Farewell.
Rule Britannia. Britannia rule the waves. Britons never, never, never shall be.
The civvy who strolled through Islington. Surprised you're alive. Slipping in to cause more mayhem here? Can't say I'm much like that bunch, but this isn't their normal MO. Guessing Arthur didn't sign off on this one? I know you're capable and have a good head on your shoulders. It's obvious something's not right here. So if you can shed light on this, do it. If I were you, I'd check in with Lance Corporal Briggs. Claims to have seen who set off the bomb. See if you can make sense of what he's saying. You need anything? Got business here?
God save the Queen.
We won't go quietly. You can count on that.
Yep, don't mind me.
I wish I could meet the Queen.
You'd have to be insane to take on the Tommies. What are you doing around these parts? God save our gracious Queen. Long live our noble Queen.
Mind the gap and all that.
Come see what I've got.
If you're walking, you're not wounded. Treat yourself. First aid kit's over there. Speak to him. Best of luck there.
Boom! Run! So much blood! Boom again! Run! Blood! Everything! Boom! Nothing! Blood! Boom! Boom! Run! Gotta run! Find help! Boom! 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 Two! Run! Shelter! Blood! Boom, run, tunnels, boom, blood, run, boom, hurt, tunnels. Yes, tunnels, dark, blood, run.
Can I help you?
Going up. Ground floor.
Who's there? Fellow. Huh. Not so sure about that anymore.
The Raja.
After we set the charges, we ran for the tunnels.
But the charges weren't synced.
The first one blew while we were still within range. Nothing serious, but took the legs right out from under us.
With our banged up legs, we limped into the tunnels.
That's when the second charge blew.
And that Raja woke up. Ran right past us to the mouth of the tunnel.
The third charge blew and sprayed it with rubble and rubbish.
That's when it noticed us.
Angry, scared. Don't really know what it was, but it attacked.
And that's when we realized our guns were back where we fell. Tristan held it off while I ran to unlock the door. That's... well...
Might as well tell the whole story. We need help, anyway. We didn't want to attack Charing Cross, but, well,
The fifth column have Tristan's family.
My mum and brother.
They promised to let them go if we blew up the station.
But now I can't even walk, let alone make them hold up their end of the bargain. Please, help my family. They're at St. Anne's churchyard.
Because he's a craven little boy, too scared to fight back. He'd have naffed about until it was too late.
Please, you have to get them back from the column. Thank you.
Civilian, state your purpose. Oh, fine. Head on in. Speak to Tucker.
How are you doing?
Fine day for it, ain't it?
The pissants send a maggot, huh? The politics doesn't matter. We're soldiers, you and I both. We get our orders and follow them. Except I follow them gladly. You see, Camelot is finished. We'll pick you off one by one. Just like what I'll do to Tristan. Or should I say, John Clitheroe. Did you know his real name? A little nightly birdie whistled it in my ear. Clitheroe. What a pathetic name. Why don't we just skip the pleasantries and get right to killing you? That was the plan for those pissants after all. Loose ends and whatnot.
Who the heck?
Comrades!
Here.
Whoa,
stop
shooting me.
Fuck, I'm out of here. I want my mummy.
Fuck that.
You're messing with the column. You signed your own death warrants. I'll hang fuck that.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're heading back to Eastminster. Let my boy know we're safe.
Those arseholes won't come knocking again. I'll make sure of it.
Did you rescue Tristan's family?
Thank God. Bless you.
So what now, Tristan? We can't exactly return to Camelot.
We head to Eastminster too.
Not dressed like this, we aren't. They're hunting 2 knights.
I guess we don't really have the right to wear these clothes anyway.
Not anymore.
Please, give this to Arthur. And thank you for all you've done for my family.
Speak your mind. Look where you're Hail, mate.
Ever vigilant.
Goodbye.
Speak your mind.
What's your business?
Hail, knight. Farewell.
Greetings.
Hail, mate. Our people in Eastminster aren't responding.
Do we fear the worst?
More likely they're in hiding.
Or no longer support us.
Is that likely?
More so than I'd like to admit.
Looks like we might have more than hearsay to paint the picture.
Oh, you've returned. What of Charing Cross Station?
We feared it was them.
Iseult's pushed us to be more aggressive. I guess she grew tired of waiting.
And I suppose the lovers poetically perished like their namesakes.
Certainly not.
So they've left without so much as a word. This signature saddens me more than anything I could have expected, but I respect his decision.
And I'm assuming there's still more to the story, as you said.
I can only imagine the suffering.
We've lost more than Charing Cross then.
Is there still a path forward for us here?
Unlikely.
We need more information. What else do we know?
I haven't heard of this.
It's likely they told him not to tell anyone, or his family would get it.
He still should have come to us.
It's his family.
It is his family, but this put a lot of families in harm's way.
Just look at the destruction.
Not to mention our standing in Eastminster.
That will hurt us for a long time.
Hurt us? It damn near cripples us.
Agreed. And we still don't know enough to make a decisive counter. Why target Tristan in the first place?
Is there anything more?
Let me see that.
A spy in Camelot? It can't be. I would have...
They know our names. Our true names. This is bona fide.
That must be how they picked up the Clitheroes.
This is all my fault.
Forget it. But we can sort this out later. Is there anything else to report?
We're not likely to win back support anytime soon.
We need to consider how to spin this.
Can we spin this?
Arthur, we'll make a full report on what's possible, but no, it looks bleak.
And we have another issue.
What else could there be?
The empty chair.
Our friend here has more than proven themselves.
They really have.
They've proven fair, competent, and a friend to us all.
I, Arthur, do hereby offer you a seat at my table. And while I may be the first among equals, here your voice will carry the weight and power equal to any other knight. As you accept this honor, I rechristen you with your heraldic name, Gaheris. Arise, Sir Gaheris, and join us as we prepare to battle for Camelot's soul.
What the...
Did you hear that?
What's that noise?
I heard it.
Bloody hell!
Arthur! Arthur!
What is it? Speak.
It's the Tommies. From all sides, they're everywhere. Everywhere!
How did you not hear of this?
Dear
Right
God.
at our doorstep! Those bastards!
Quiet. We don't have time for this. We must fight. This is war.
Ever vigilant.
War?
Percival, inform all patrols of these events. Gawain, head to the barracks and rally the infantry. Bedivere, Lancelot, you must protect the northern courtyard. Gaheris, go with them. Show them what a knight of Camelot can do. It's either victory or the grave, my friends. Go! Go! Go!
And here I thought I would never get to see the great Lancelot in battle.
Don't be so cheerful. We're being attacked after all.
Indeed we are. What would you rather me do? Cry into a pint as you do every night?
Why are you mocking me instead of focusing on the battle?
Perhaps it's because fate is on our side. And by fate, I'm referring to
London
Gaheris.
is the place
Look
for
alive,
me.
Lancelot. We're making history right here.
You're a strange one, Bedivere.
God in heaven, look at that breach!
Hold this position, lads.
You heard bit of here. Stand tall.
The blighted will never surrender.
Camelot prevails.
We're second to none.
You okay? Oh,
Sensitive scope.
where? Keep going, men. Never surrender.
Come out, wherever you are.
I just want to talk. Come back.
Ugh!
Don't make me bring reinforcements down here.
Death or glory! Lancelot, you still with us?
Ugh!
I'm here. I'm here.
Good. We can let the infantry hold this position. We're needed at the main gate. Rather, you are. Me and Gaheris will go around the outside and flank them.
Just be careful.
You two. Gaheris, Jallo!
Can I help you?
Rally here.
See ya.
We could have used someone like you in our past battles, Gaheris. I'm glad you're on our side.
For Camelot! You have eyes. Use them.
There you are. I'm glad to see you, Wayfarer. Or should I say Gaheris?
What is it, Galahad?
Dreadful news. I was in contact with Percival when the Tommies broke into the keep. They've taken over the place, and Percival
is still inside. Curse that man! Gaheris,
be more
clear
careful.
The keep.
Look where you're
Find
going.
Our little radio
Speak your
phone.
mind.
I'll go with you. Would never pass up the chance to see a brand new Knight of the Round in action. Greetings. What's your business?
Give me cover fire.
Surrender.
Have it.
Let's give it to them, boys.
For Camelot.
My country, I vow to thee.
Never surrender.
Do not be
Take the ground.
Law and order will be.
My country, I vow to thee.
Stop! In the name of the Queen!
Had enough?
I'm glad to make
Fire
you
in the hole! We're in the clear.
Your life is in my hands, tyrant.
Shoot anything that moves.
I sense a disturbance. See me fight with conviction.
Time to do my duty.
For Arthur!
Arthur shall hear of this.
Reveal yourself.
That'll teach you to mess with us. Better check that
So
out.
that's how it is then, is it?
Stop in the name of the Queen.
I feel that in
Don't mourn. Organize.
Tell us if communication codes work,
Prevails.
or we'll pry them off your lips.
Pry them off my lips. Life is not a 005 comic, young man. Please find a more convincing argument.
Private, shoot this.
You can't.
Rally here.
Why do they all...
We'll never surrender. Real Britannia.
Some thanks would be much appreciated.
Thanks are earned, not given out freely. Gaheris, once you've cleared out this building, meet Arthur and Merlin at the southern courtyard. Good luck.
Don't get captured again, Percival. Hail, mate.
Gaheris, I'm glad you are safe. Merlin was injured in our escape.
Don't worry about me. It'll take much more than an errant bullet to kill this servant of Camelot.
Merlin, this isn't the time for pompous claims.
I disagree. This is the perfect time. Your soldiers need some pomp to get through this long night.
Of course. Gaheris with me. We'll meet the other knights and push the Tommies out of our land.
What's your business?
Greetings.
I sense a disturbance.
That was close.
Surrender!
Oh, did that hurt? Let the battle commence!
Watch
Arthur, this is it.
it. Be more
The last
careful.
remaining Tommies
There's
are
a
just
war.
past here, huddled around a makeshift artillery site.
Crafty bastards. Once we take down the artillery, they'll run back to their masters, no doubt about it.
Which still doesn't answer the question of how the bloody Tommies managed to sneak up on us.
Questions are for later. Now we have to attack.
Wait. If this is the final push, I have some words for you. Not just my knights, but all of Camelot. My friends, my people, one more battle awaits us. If any of you do not have the stomach for this fight, then leave. You will not be punished, you will not eat. But I do not wish to die in your company. Today is a day of battle. Tomorrow, we will feast, for whoever outlives today will stand for all time by my side. For the one who sheds their blood with me shall be my brother, no matter who they are or were. There is no past, no future, only today, only this battle. Raise your arms, my people, and know that those who did not join us today will forever curse themselves for not standing by our side. Let history remember us. Let history know our name. Fight!
It's time.
To arms, brothers! To arms! Hey!
Speak your mind.
Arthur, sir.
Let me see that. We've won the battle, but the war is still not over, Gaheris. There is one more thing you must do. Percival has been trying to contact the Northern Outpost, the one we put under Gawain's command. But so far we've heard nothing but static. It could well be their equipment was destroyed, or maybe... well, I can't help but imagine the worst. Go to the Northern Outpost, Gaheris, and report their status back to me.
Patience is key.
You're Gawain's friend, aren't you? The knight who came to help us. Thank you. Because of your training, we managed to hold back the Tommies and save the outpost. Your training, it stuck with him. When the Tommies attacked us, he jumped on a grenade and saved the entire squad's life. We're all only here because of him. When you return to Arthur, tell him to honour our friend's name. Please.
Look where you're going.
Welcome back, Gaheris. What news do you bring? How interesting. May the books record Pilly's name, elevating him past the status of mere number. The battle is won, but the cost is great. No time for celebrations, Geheris. At least for us. We have to keep working. This attack was carefully planned, especially by Tommy standards. They must have received advanced intel. That letter mentioned friends at the museum. I'd wager the 5th column spy in our ranks is sending information to the Tommies. This must be dealt with. Get Lancelot. He's probably at the tavern. He'll help you rout out the spy. Best of luck.